In the heart of the American West, where the bright lights of Las Vegas cast long shadows, and the vast deserts hold secrets untold, lies a state with a darker side. Welcome, fellow truth seekers, to a chilling journey into the enigmatic world of Nevada's mysterious disappearances and murders. I'm Be Aware, your guide into the shadows, and in this episode we'll delve deep into the dark secrets that haunt the Silver State.
If you like content like this, please like and subscribe.
Patrick Carnes, who at the time was 86 years old when he traveled from Nevada to Toledo, Ohio to visit some family and also to look for places that he could stay for the rest of his life, somewhere that would have been close to his family. After he was done spending time in Ohio, on April 12, 2011, Patrick decided to pack up his dark green Subaru wagon and drive back to Reno with his best friend, a slightly overweight 100-pound Akita/mixed breed dog named Lucky. The following night, just after Patrick and Lucky entered the state of Nevada, a trooper pulled Patrick over for not changing lanes appropriately near the town of Wells. After speaking briefly with the officer, Patrick got off with a warning and continued his late-night trek across the state via westbound I-80. Though they were only about 6 hours' drive from Reno at the time, they never made it there. The next morning, Patrick's car was found abandoned in a sagebrush, a good distance from the highway in rural Winnemucca. When investigators came upon Patrick's vehicle, they found no signs of foul play. The car was in a good distance from the road and its front end was facing the interstate. There was no evidence leading investigators to believe Patrick and Lucky were abducted, but they cannot rule anything out. After doing extensive air and ground searches of the vast, wide-open Nevada desert, cops in Humboldt County have come up with completely empty-handed. There hasn't been a single sighting of the missing duo. When Patrick was pulled over in Wells, he told a trooper he was going to get a room in nearby Elko that night, but there's no record of him ever doing so. What happened overnight remains a mystery to investigators. To this day, Patrick is still missing. Stephen Koecher was born in 1979 in Amarillo, Texas, and had a seemingly ordinary life until his disappearance. He grew up in a family of 4 children, excelled as an Eagle Scout, and was a devout Latter-day Saint. After graduating from Amarillo High School in 1998, he pursued higher education. In his college years, Stephen attended Ricks College, which later went to be called University of Utah, where he earned a degree in communications. He also dedicated time to missionary work in Brazil, becoming fluent in Portuguese. Post-graduation, Stephen interned in the office of the governor of Utah before working for the Davis County Clipper, a newspaper edited by his father. His articles even received awards from the Utah Press Association. In 2007, Stephen began working for the Salt Lake Tribune's digital advertising division. However, he decided to leave due to the overnight shifts and the harsh winter conditions in Salt Lake City. Seeking warmer climates, he relocated to St. George, southwestern Utah. Unfortunately, he faced challenges securing steady employment due to the Great Recession. Stephen resorted to odd jobs, including distributing flyers for a local window washing firm, financial troubles mounted with the unpaid rent, and potential utility service termination. On December 10, 2009, Stephen embarked on a road trip from St. George, visiting the Neff family ranch in Nevada, returned home covering nearly 1,100 miles. Throughout the day, Koecher spoke with his mother, discussing Christmas plans and job prospects. He seemed upbeat despite his financial challenges. On December 12th, Stephen hit the road again with his phone pinging towers in various locations. That evening, he purchased Christmas gifts. At midday on December 13, 2009, Stephen Koecher parked at the end of a cul-de-sac in Anthem neighborhood of Henderson, Nevada, and got out of his car, an action recorded on a nearby home security camera. After returning shortly afterwards, he retrieved something from the vehicle and walked away, with another security camera capturing his reflection in a car window. Koecher has not been seen since, although some activity was recorded on his cell phone over the next 2 days. A day after the last ping, Sun City's Homeowners Association parking enforcement took note of the car at the end of the Savannah Springs cul-de-sac and tried to find its owner. Through the windows, they saw one of the flyers Stevens had been distributing for the window washing company in St. George and called the number on it. Eventually, they spoke with the owner, who gave them Stevens' cell phone number, where they left a voicemail. Later, they called his mother. She returned their call on December 17th, and realizing no one else in the family had talked to him in a week and were unable to locate him, they reported him missing. Stephen's brother and sister drove to St. George from Salt Lake City area to start searching. Stephen's family went to jails, morgues, and hospitals in the Las Vegas area in search of Stephen. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police canvassed the houses in the neighborhood where Stephen's car had been parked. With the help of volunteers, they used helicopters, all-terrain vehicles, and sniffer dogs. By Christmas, the media in Salt Lake City and Las Vegas had begun reporting the story. A local dairy put Stephen's picture on a milk carton. More searches were conducted, but nothing was ever truly found. Stephen's family believes, given his financial circumstances at the time, that he had gone to Henderson that morning for a job opportunity. Despite the odd location where he parked his car, on the video, the neatly dressed Stephen is walking purposefully and suggesting he knew where he was going and what he was going there for. He doesn't look confused or dazed, Stephen's brother Dallin said in 2018. Based off of what I've read and the circumstances that Stephen was in, this is a good theory, as obviously he would have to go very far for job opportunities, especially in the Great Recession. We can also take into account the fact that he actually bought gifts for his brother's children, so he was looking forward to Christmas, obviously. What would happen to him within that half a day to a day to make him want to disappear, especially in such a random area such as a cul-de-sac? Doesn't make any sense. Brianna Denison attended Reno High School in Reno, Nevada, graduating in June 2006. Then she went on to later study psychology at Santa Barbara City College. At the time of her disappearance, it was winter break and she was back home, visiting friends and also attending certain parties. On January 20th, she attended a party and came back late to a friend's house. Brianna was last seen alive on January 20th, 2008 at about 4 a.m. Pacific time at her friend's house near the University of Nevada campus. Her friend woke up at around 9 a.m. and couldn't find Brianna anywhere. There was a small blood stain was found on the pillow that Brianna was using to sleep that night, which led her friend to alert Brianna's parents and local authorities. Brianna had left the house without her shoes, cell phone, or purse. Authorities believe she was wearing only sweats and a white tank top. She was later found to have been dressed in only bright orange-colored socks. In the following days, the Reno Police Department conducted a forensic investigation of the McKay Court residence where Brianna was staying when she was abducted, and found DNA belonging to an unidentified male on the doorknob. They also discovered that the blood on the pillow was Brianna's. On January 21st, 2008, detectives began sweeping the University of Nevada Reno area in search of Brianna. The FBI had also joined in the search efforts. Investigators later learned that the male DNA found on the couch where Brianna was sleeping the night when she disappeared was linked with at least 2 previous sexually motivated attacks in the same area, one on November 13th and the second on December 16, 2007. On January 29, 2008, a Reno woman claimed she knew another victim who said she was raped at gunpoint in a garage on the University of Nevada Reno campus in October 2007, but had not reported the crime. Police began interviewing nearly 100 sex offenders who lived within a mile of the area where Brianna was taken from. Around 1,700 volunteers helped with the search of a 100 square mile area during the time Brianna was missing. On February 15, 2008, Albert Jimenez of Reno was returning from his lunch break at a Subway restaurant. He discovered the body of Brianna Denison in a ditch. A few months later, on Tuesday, November 25th, 2008, James Michael Bila, 27 at the time, of Sparks, Nevada, was arrested and booked at the Washoe County Jail on charges of murder, first-degree kidnapping, and sexual assault. Police took a DNA sample of James, and it came out to be a match. Apparently, a friend of his girlfriend's had turned in James via the secret witness program on November 1st, 2008. James' girlfriend had confided to this friend that she had found underwear unknown to her in James' truck as they were coming back from Washington State, where James had taken a job in March. Widespread news media reports began circulating, including a police sketch of a suspect and a description of a vehicle used in another rape the month before Brianna's abduction. According to Reno Police Department Chief Michael Pullman, James was questioned by detectives after the secret witness tip came in. He denied involvement and declined to provide a DNA sample. However, James' girlfriend was also questioned and gave police permission to obtain DNA from her 4-year-old son, who James had fathered. The test indicated that his direct relative had left DNA at the home where Brianna Denison was abducted and at the other rape that had been taking place the prior month. With this evidence, Reno police obtained an arrest warrant and one for James' DNA. Chief Pullman announced at the press conference that the Washoe County Sheriff's Department crime lab had tested James' DNA and found it matched DNA from the Brianna's case. In 2010, James Bila was sentenced to death by the jury. My condolences goes out to the families of Patrick, Stephen, and Brianna, and not just these 3 victims, but all the victims that I haven't covered as of right now. I hope all the family members receive the closure that they so righteously deserve. We need to remember that these videos aren't just about what has happened to the victims of the past, but they set up as a reminder to be careful and cautious with whatever we do. Once again, be careful, be safe, be aware.